Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Ord. Thank you guys for joining us on this Monday night after a long weekend. I hope you had a great weekend. I know we were both out of town. Solid weekend. We got a little sun. We're looking a little tan today. Um, a lot of things happening in Braves country. This morning, AJ Smith-Shawver was optioned to Gwinnett. He had a very bad outing against the Reds, but as Justin Toscano of the AJC noted, and as I noted in the article, Sports Talk ATL, shameless plug, go visit the site. Everything will be up there that we talk about tonight. This wasn't performance based. Listen, he had a bad outing against the Reds in the Great American Small Park, as I like to call it. It is literally just a child's. I mean, it's a high school field that major league players are playing on. You can hit 350-foot homers to right center field. It's honestly kind of ridiculous, but that's what you get, and that's what the Braves got in this series. And AJ Smith-Shawver had his first poor performance. But listen, that doesn't take away from everything he's done this year in the minor leagues. It doesn't take away from everything he's accomplished so far at the major league level. He's still going to be a piece of this team, and I don't know if he's going to start on Wednesday. But Toscano says, hey, if the Braves didn't need more bullpen arms right now after a long, wild, crazy series with the Reds, which we'll get into throughout the next couple of segments, they probably would have kept him up to start on Wednesday. So I don't know if he's going to get that start, because the other option is Michael Soroka, who almost threw a no-hitter in a 7-inning doubleheader game 2 of a 7-inning doubleheader. He came one out shy, gave up a homer to the last person he faced. He absolutely cruised 7 innings on 80 pitches. And this has been a trend ever since he was optioned back. He pitched 6 innings, 1 run ball, and he's been there for 3 starts. He's given up 3 runs over 19 innings. So he's looked the best he has all season. He's deserving of another opportunity soon. Whether that happens this week on Wednesday, it's going to happen soon, and hopefully he's here to stay when it does happen. Regardless, though, AJ Smith-Shawver's time, the story of him in Atlanta in 2023, far from over. He could be in the rotation, reliever, whatever. He's got a ton of talent. The Braves are going to keep using him. It's not about that one bad outing.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. They got a bunch of arms, and they're just trying to figure out the best guys. You know, that's what these months are about. Obviously, the Braves, they're the hottest team in baseball. The month of June has been unbelievable, and they're just trying to work out these quirks. It's all about building up to September and October, finding out who's in the rotation, who are the guys in the bullpen, what do we need at the deadline. You know, so I know that AJ Smith-Shawver struggled, and you just said it, his time is far from over. Nobody should have expected this 20-year-old kid to come up here and just absolutely dominate without any, hitting any bumps in the road. He hit a bump. I'm sure he'll be back, just like Soroka's time. Coming back to Atlanta was never going to be a seamless transition. It was going to be spotty, just like we saw. Although I wanted to see his leash be, a little longer, I think the Braves handled it as they do always, handled it perfectly. He's back in AAA, and he's looking phenomenal. He looks like he deserves probably more than AJ Smith-Shawver deserves that start on Wednesday, just to kind of see what we had. If we're, honestly speaking, Jared Schuster should really be the one that's, gone down to AAA and in the form of instead of AJ Smith-Shawver. But, I digress. It wasn't a production thing. It was, the bullpen was taxed this series against the Reds. So I digress.
Yeah, and it could be an option thing. You can only option a guy 5 times throughout the season. AJ Smith-Shawver, this is the first time he's been optioned. He's only been up, so that could have something to do with it. So now that I think about it, AJ Smith-Shawver can't come back up on Wednesday because you have to be optioned for 10 days. So she just wrote that article. Maybe we should switch that. But yeah, so AJ Smith-Shawver cannot come back up on Wednesday. So it's going to be Michael Soroka. Still not a performance thing, though, and his story still is not written, and he could start again. I think it just made a lot of sense because you have Soroka there that will be on extra rest, on 6 days of rest to start on Wednesday. So he'll come up and start. I feel confident saying that. The option thing is always confusing to me. There's so many little rules. But, yeah, he is going to come up and start on Wednesday. So that's exciting. Really excited to see. Hopefully he's here to stay. Listen, whether the options thing or out, he was going to come up eventually, and we were going to see if he was going to be able to start. So it was just a matter of time before Soroka. Now he gets this opportunity. It just worked out that way. The Braves have a plethora of starting pitching options. Yes, not all of them are proven commodities, but we talk about Schuster, we talk about Smith-Shawver, Soroka, Colby Allard's working his way back up. Hopefully Max Fried and Kyle Wright get healthy, but this is a group that should look a lot better a month from now than it does right now. And I really think Michael Soroka has a chance to come in here and really establish himself, perhaps as that number 3 starter. Listen, Charlie Morton, solid number 3. But if you could push him back, it looks like Father Time's kind of starting to catch up to him. I've been a firm Charlie Morton supporter. I think he's given the Braves a lot of really good outings, a lot of outings. It's just kind of been like, it does seem like he's taken a tiny smidge of a step back over the last couple of seasons, and this might just be who he is. Despite me defending him, I still think the stuff's great, but he just makes a few too many mistakes, just a few too many fastballs over the middle of the plate, hangers, stuff like that he wasn't making. And maybe he figures that out. I still think the potential's there for him to get back to where he was. But listen, we're now talking about an 18-month sample size where he hasn't been quite where he was back in 2021 when the Braves won the World Series. So if you could get Soroka looking good and have him as like the number 3, and obviously Max Fried coming back will relieve a lot of pressure off all of these guys in the rotation. But yeah, like you said, great problem to have. I'm really excited to see Soroka. I think he's going to be here to stay this time. He's looked the best he has all season. And as I said about Soroka when he first came up, listen, it's not about the stuff. The stuff is there. It might be even better than it was pre-injury. It's about finding the control, finding the consistency, and getting that confidence back to where it was pre-injury, which is never going to be easy. It's always going to be a process, but it looks like he's taken it in stride. He took the option in stride. He came back and delivered his best baseball of the season. Looks like they handled it correctly, and now he gets an opportunity to really etch his name on this because, listen, Schuster is the only guy on this of all these guys that I'm like, listen, and I've been saying this about Schuster for the entire season. I'm just not high on him. Like, at best, he's a number 5, and that's like his ceiling in my opinion. He just doesn't have the swing and miss stuff to be a very, very good major league pitcher right now. Will he develop that? Maybe. But right now, like, he's the guy I look at that's going to be the odd man out when all this stuff, all the optioning and the 10 days and everything, to me, unless he really shows something over the next couple of weeks, when AJ Smith-Shawver can come back up, he's going to get that spot in the rotation. And then you get to figure it out when Max Fried and those guys get healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to address a couple of things. First of all, Charlie Morton, I saw a lot of people down on Charlie Morton, and we are 2 of his biggest fans. We dove deep into the analytics last year, and the second half of last season, he was really, really good. But coming into the season, nobody was expecting Charlie Morton to be a number 2 right now. That was not the case. We all expected him to be at best a number 3 and probably number 4. So, and we're getting that kind of production right now. Like, I don't know why everybody's just shocked about what's happening right now. We weren't expecting him to be some frontline starter like he was during the World Series run. And then transitioning to Michael Soroka. Soroka, if anybody is going to be able to take, getting demoted on the chin, it's Soroka. He could get demoted 2 more times to Gwinnett, come back up to Atlanta, have a rough outing. This kid has been just struggling, grinding for 2 years, 3 years to get back to where he is right now. A couple of bad outings in Atlanta is not going to discourage this kid. He's unbelievably wired. I mean, this kid is just hardwired. He's a savage. I mean, the amount of, just beat downs this guy's taken in life, and he's just continued to get back up. I mean, he's going to be fine. He's going to get back, maybe not to where he was, but he will be a good pitcher again in the MLB someday.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that this whole season. I'm like, listen, the lumps are going to come. There's going to be bumps in the road, and he's experienced that. And I just think it's a matter of time. Like, once he puts together a few good starts in the major league, and hopefully that happens, starts on Wednesday when he gets the ball against a Twins team that has a pretty good lineup. He's going to be tested. But, hey, buddy, that game's at home. First home start for Mike Soroka. The juices are going to be flowing. Like, you're not used to seeing it, but don't be surprised when you look up on the clock and it's 96 mile per hour sinker time, because the juices are going to be flowing. He's going to be amped. That place is going to be rocking. Everyone is going to have his back. And I just have a feeling. We've been waiting for the poetic moment of this guy's back. And we were hoping it happened last time, even though it was on the road. Like, that poetic moment of him jogging onto the mound after 5 scoring innings, getting taken out in the 6th or the 7th or whatever it is, to a standing ovation. It's going to happen. It's happening. It's just like it's just a matter of when. Hopefully that's Wednesday, and hopefully he gets the rock. I mean, that's what we're expecting. I feel pretty confident in that happening, and I'm really excited. That's a game. I know it's a Wednesday, and I keep saying we've been on vacation, we've been traveling. It's like, oh, I just want to take it easy and do this, but it's going to be hard for me not to buy some tickets to the Michael Soroka show if he does get the ball on Wednesday, because I'm going to want to watch that in person. That's a moment we've all been waiting for the last 2 years, and I'm sure everyone around the city is going to feel the same way. It's a Wednesday night. It doesn't matter. People are going to be there.
I was going to say it's going to be a Wednesday night, and the Reds just got a taste of what the Atlanta Braves can do for your attendance numbers. It'll be a Wednesday night against a Twins team that's good, but it's by no means, a high-profile Yankees, Dodgers. They're not really, they're not getting Braves fans out of their seat. That Wednesday night game is going to feel like a playoff atmosphere if Soroka gets the ball. Yeah. It will be unbelievable.
And I'm excited because he really has looked really good. I mean, you talk about taking a no-hitter into the 7th inning and almost completing a 7-game no-hitter in Gwinnett his last time out. I mean, he's starting to look like the guy that we remembered before all the injuries. Coming up after the break, we're going to get into this Brave series. We talked about it briefly, but we're going to get into what was one of the most entertaining series of the entire season to this point against the Reds.